Welcome to E60. I'm Lisa Salters. Back in 2008, I introduced you to the Boozer family. Carlos Boozer was an NBA All-Star at that time, and he and his wife Cece had just pushed the boundaries of science and medicine in hopes of curing their infant son Carmani from a devastating disease. It was a story about two parents who made difficult choices that not all parents would have made, but choices they believed were right for them and their family. I've stayed in touch with the Boozers over the years, and as it turns out, the story that we reported more than 15 years ago was only the beginning. This is Blood Brothers.
My brothers are my best friends.
Cayden Boozer, one of the nation's finest point guards. This is what makes Cayden Boozer such a talent. He can do it all.
Growing up, you're constantly challenging each other, and it made us all stronger. It's crazy how I was so sick. So much money and time in a hospital. My mom, she made that choice, which is a scary choice to make. It kind of just brought us more together than anything because they saved my life.
In the fall of 2005, Carlos and Cece Boozer were on top of the world. The college sweethearts who met when Carlos was at Duke had been married for 3 years. Carlos was on his way to becoming an NBA All-Star for the Utah Jazz.
Boozer, how about that move? Boozer! Exclamation point!
And then, the best news of all.
We were not planning to get pregnant. I was super excited, once you know. But yeah, it was definitely a surprise.
It was an awesome blessing because it was before we had planned it, but we were both super excited just to be able to have a child through love with each other.
What were you thinking the future was going to be like?
Amazing. You think that everything's going to be just perfect.
But all that changed with a routine genetic screening during Cece's second trimester. It flagged that she had the sickle cell trait. Carlos had the same genetic trait, which meant their baby had a 25% chance of inheriting sickle cell disease. Their doctors ordered more tests.
We wanted to just check, and when we did the in utero testing, we found out.
What did the doctors tell you?
That he had sickle cell disease.
Sickle cell disease is a blood disorder that causes irregularly shaped red blood cells, disrupting blood flow. In severe cases, it can cause episodes of excruciating pain, strokes, even death. Cece and Carlos decided to share their story, which is how we first met them more than 15 years ago.
We were devastated. We were really devastated.
So what did they tell you your options were?
Well, I mean, your initial options are you going to continue with your pregnancy or are you going to terminate your pregnancy? And that wasn't an option for us.
We were so frightened to even bring him in the world, because we're thinking his life was going to be terrible. At the end of the day, we said, listen, we got blessed with a child. He is our gift from God. Let's have him. and we'll figure the rest of it out along the way.
May 31st, 2006. Cece gave birth to a 10-pound, 9-ounce baby boy, Carmani.
She had pushed for so long. She was so exhausted. And I'm sitting there holding my son, and I'm going crazy. And as soon as we saw him, he opened his eyes for the first time, we both knew there was something special about him.
You're so happy, and you feel so fortunate, you know, that God gave you a child. But there's always those fears in the back of your mind, like, how bad is it gonna be? We knew that Carmani was gonna fall on the extreme end of the sickle cell spectrum.
So when did Carmani first start to show signs?
When he was like 2 or 3 months old.
Carmani was in and out of the emergency room as his hands began to swell. He spiked high fevers. Doctors said there was little they could do to treat what would be a lifelong illness.
It's okay. We can give him some medicine. He can have a somewhat normal life. I just didn't believe that those were my only answers. And so we decided to stop talking to those doctors and start looking for other people that could help me.
When Cece came to me and was like, we got to fix this. I don't know what it's going to take, but we need to find a way to cure Carmani.
When Carlos and Cece Boozer's firstborn son, Carmani, was born with sickle cell disease, the new parents were desperate to find a cure for what can be a debilitating disease.
Where did you find the hope?
I found the hope through a group of doctors in Atlanta who had performed the first bone marrow transplant on a sickle cell patient, and that they had an incredible success rate, completely sickle cell free. And all of a sudden, there was hope for me.
A bone marrow transplant would allow Carmani to generate sickle cell free blood. But neither Cece nor Carlos was a genetic match with their son. As Cece researched, one fact stood out. The highest probability of a genetic match came from a sibling.
We need a match. We also need a healthy child that matches. We only have a 1 in 12 chance of getting that. Are we gonna get pregnant, roll the dice? Or are we gonna get another sick child in the process while we do that? Which is when we turn to in vitro.
In vitro fertilization, or IVF, is the process of fertilizing an egg outside of the body, then implanting the embryo into a mother's womb. Doctors harvested 34 eggs from Cece. 10 became fertilized, sickle cell-free embryos. And among those,
only 2 matched.
Only 2?
Only 2 were completely healthy and were an identical match for my son's transplant.
So when they tell you that, what do you think?
We got it.
Jackpot.
We got 2. And my lovely doctor suggested that I put both eggs in because there's only a 60% chance that it'll take. Okay, you're right. Let's put both. Instead of being a normal pregnant woman who's just excited about this baby and this wonderful gift she's been given, you feel like you're having a baby for the wrong reason. I just felt guilty because, you know, it was more out of love for Carmani. It wasn't out of love for them.
How did you feel?
There was times where I felt like we did the right thing, and there was times I felt like we didn't do the right thing. It was, we need to have a baby so we can cure Carmani. And that's not how we wanted to have it, but that's what ended up going down. Cameron came out first. They pulled out Cayden, and they gave him to me. I'm holding both of my twins like this. And she's like, how do they look? I'm like, they look like you.
The day I saw them, and they were here, and they were so beautiful and wonderful, and I loved them every bit as much as I did him. And then I felt even more like they were more special because God had given me them to help Carmani.
Immediately after they were born, doctors harvested the stem cells from the twins' umbilical cords, which once transplanted into their brother, would hopefully develop into bone marrow. But first, Carmani would need to undergo chemotherapy to permanently kill off his own body's bone marrow. Doctors told the Boozers the procedure had an 85% success rate. There was also a 10% chance Carmani would not survive.
And so even the night before, we went back and forth. Do we do it? Do we not do it? I don't know.
Me and Cece stayed in his room right up here, upstairs, all night, crying, praying, talking to each other, holding them.
And somehow, 5 o'clock came, the alarm went off. We got up, we got dressed, and we left.
"14-month-old Carmani underwent 8 days of high-dosage chemotherapy.
He can't leave the room. He can't go play with his toys. He can't see his brothers. He has a chemo tube going right to his chest every day. And he ends up losing his hair. Then we watch him throw up just random times of the day. It made us so sick because we felt like we did this to him.
We give him 2 days of rest to metabolize all that, get it out of his system. And then we brought the umbilical cord product over from our processing facility. We put it in a body temperature water bath, thaw the cells, draw them up in a syringe, and then slowly infuse them back into the patient. And it flows in, goes into the bloodstream, and then it migrates to the liver, the spleen, and the bone marrow. And then in those pockets, it starts to grow, multiply, and then make the new cells, and eventually replaces all of the blood system.
How do you know if it works?
When we get to day 30, we send a specimen to check and see if they're his white cells that are growing or white cells of his donor. At day 30, we did the testing, and it was 100% donor.
And a little more than a year after the transplant, we visited the Boozers.
So we're all right here.
That's what you do, yeah, right in there.
Okay.
And Carmani.
Are you going to help out?
Such a big boy.
Can you help?
Yeah.
All right, good.
This little giggle. Yeah. You're silly.
Don't be talking now, though.
Is Lisa your girlfriend? No.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Definitely your girlfriend. Right in front of me.
Yes, I am. Health-wise now, just what's the status as far as sickle cell goes?
He's completely sickle cell free right now. He's doing incredibly well. He has a fully functioning immune system. He's basically like every normal 2-year-old. He's, restarting his vaccinations and getting back to a normal life.
So can I say that you guys cured your son of sickle cell?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can.
The Boozers had found their cure.
Yeah, you did a good job. Wow.
And we thought that's where we would end the story, which we first told in 2008. It turns out the story of Cameron, Cayden, and Carmani was just getting started.
1, 2, 3. Little screwdriver. You're right there. Got it. Thank you.
Come say hi first. Do you remember me at all?
Not really.
Not really. I'm Lisa.
What?
Good
What
to
do you want to
see
do?
you. Come on in. You're right there.
You take one, Mark. Got it. Thank you.
What number are you, Cayden?
I'm 2.
And what number is
Kim?
12.
So you don't remember jumping on the trampoline in your backyard?
No.
No? Okay. I know you don't remember when we met years and years ago. Well, it happened. Just so you know, it happened.
Everybody good?
So the three of you growing up together, just how would you describe the relationship between the three of you?
I mean, super close. Like, we did everything together growing up.
He just wanted the ball.
I feel like it was just normal brother activities. Cameron Carmani used to fight all the time. And I would just be the outsider just watching and making fun of them.
They were cute, and they were fun and full of energy and devilish.
By 2017, Carlos and Cece had divorced. And after 14 pro seasons, Carlos called it a career. But the brothers had hoop dreams of their own.
How you guys doing? They wanted to join us tonight. Y'all cool with that?
Being around the NBA, it's kind of where the love for the game kind of started. Like, how can you not fall in love with the game, you know? It's basketball. Carmani, when we used to play basketball when we were younger, he was the best player on the court. He was the point guard, the center. You could basically call him like a Nikola Jokic. But we all wanted to beat him, obviously. Everyone wants to be better than their brother. Like, it's just kind of like a natural thing, I think, for everyone.
That was Cameron's motivation all through like middle school. Carmani used to whoop his ass in the backyard. So he like, I got to get better than my big brother.
Yeah, no comment on that one, no comment.
As the boys grew older, they took different paths. Carmani specialized in baseball. And for the twins, all those sessions in the backyard with their big brother were paying off on the hardwood.
You've been hearing about the Boozer twins since they were in middle school. I felt like I was looking at twins who were, not 14, but 24 years old. That motor that they bring, the level of concentration and focus, and just the polish that you just don't see from kids who are 14 years old.
By the fall of 2021, as freshmen at Columbus High School in Miami, Cayden had grown to 6'1", Cam to 6'7".
I'm a big proponent on if the freshman is good enough and they're gonna give us the best chance to win, I'm gonna be playing them.
Cam and Cayden didn't just play, they dominated, winning state titles in their freshman and sophomore seasons. When did your parents first tell you about your story?
I don't remember exactly when, but I'm pretty sure I was in elementary or somewhere around there.
I feel like I was just kind of in shock because obviously I knew that my brother was sick when we were younger, but I didn't know how serious it was. Like, what would have happened if the transplant didn't work? I wouldn't know, like, what I would do without my brother.
Your mom said that you tease him sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, how do you tease him?
I mean, they were only born because I was sick, pretty much. But they saved my life. That's what their comeback always is.
Mom, is this me?
Yes.
It's not me.
Oh God, that's you. I have the scar.
It's still there?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You
Yep.
can kind of see it here. Like right here, you can kind of see the scar.
When you look at where he is now.
Oh, so thankful. Yeah, so thankful. He's healthy and strong and, pitching for his baseball team tomorrow.
15 years after receiving the transplant from his brothers, Carmani is a starting pitcher for Monsignor Pace High School.
I love pitching. I love being able to have control of the game, and everything's off me, and I love that side of it.
How are you when he's pitching?
Oh, I'm a mess because I'm like, he's out there on an island and everybody's depending on you, and I'm just falling apart the entire time.
Carmine, living a full life. You know, like he's a senior this year. He's pitching on a great baseball team. He's going to college next year on a full scholarship. I'm grateful because it could have went a different direction.
Great game, baby. Good job.
And 17 years after they were conceived to save Carmani, Cam and Cayden are thriving too. In March, they played for their third consecutive state championship.
Get in there.
Yep, shut that down, Cam. You and him. Here you go, Cayden.
This is the ball game right here. Inbounds play comes to Cayden Boozer. Spins it to free throw line. Well, that's the way to make sure you get it too. What a move by Cayden Boozer, and this place can't believe it.
The twins are being recruited by programs like Duke, Miami, Kentucky, but their goals don't stop there.
Do you see yourselves playing in the NBA together?
That's the dream, obviously, playing with your brother in the NBA. If the opportunity comes up where we can play together, I think we'll both jump on that opportunity.
We're talking about 2 years away, but Cayden is an NBA player. I strongly believe that he's going to have a long and fruitful NBA career. Cam is a very strong candidate to be the #1 pick in the draft. If the draft were tonight, I would take Cayden Boozer #1.
You have it?
Yeah.
I want to show you a clip, just kind of talking about your story, and this was from your mom 15 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people will be like, that is completely wrong.
Why do you think people would think that's wrong?
Because it's not the God-given way that it would happen. And you know what? I respect your opinion. Well, unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, man and woman get together and you can't make a baby. And for people like me, who need a special baby, you know? I'm sure there are a lot of people who would think that that's wrong. But I don't, because I have the most beautiful thing in life. I have my son who's healthy, and I have 2 more beautiful, healthy sons who are running here and happy, and I'm sure have a special place in this world. And they were meant to be here, regardless of how they got here. And that's what I think.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think she's completely right.
I was born for a purpose. My Cayden was born for a purpose.
Just a sacred bond that will never be broken, but I feel like there's more to be unpacked.
Knowing that they're the reason I'm alive really just makes me want to just appreciate them more because they did so much for me. They saved my life.